She told everyone she was the Virgin Mary, and her followers believed she could perform miracles and lead them into a new age. When police finally entered the house, they found one of the most disturbing cult endings in modern history. Viewer discretion is advised. This story contains real photographs of a deceased person and disturbing subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, my friends. I'm Amber Joy, and today I'm sharing the unbelievably true story of the Love Has Won cult. Unlike many cult leaders who promised salvation after death, this woman convinced her followers that she was already a divine being living on earth. By the time authorities uncovered what had happened, the story had become one of the strangest and most unsettling cult cases in recent history. Amy Carlson was born in Kansas in 1975 and lived what most people would consider an ordinary life. She worked regular jobs, raised children, and struggled with the same ups and downs that many people experience. But over time, she became deeply interested in spirituality, conspiracy theories, and New Age beliefs. Eventually, she came to believe she wasn't just spiritually awakened, she believed she was God. She called herself Mother God. Amy claimed she had lived hundreds of previous lives. She told followers she had been Jesus, Joan of Arc, Marilyn Monroe, Cleopatra, and other countless historical figures. According to her, she was on earth to raise humanity into a higher level of consciousness before a great transformation. To outsiders, the claim sounded impossible, but to her followers, they made perfect sense. People from around the world began joining her online, watching her broadcasts, and eventually moved to live with her. They left behind their families, their careers, and their savings to devote themselves completely to Mother God. Together, they formed a group known as Love Has Won. Now, life inside the group revolved entirely around Amy. Her followers believed every word she spoke came directly from the divine. They monitored each other's loyalty, promoting the movement online, and referred to Amy with absolute reverence. Anyone who questioned her teachings risked being shamed or expelled. As the years passed, Amy's health began to deteriorate. She drank heavily, often consuming large amounts of alcohol every day, while also believing that colloidal silver was healing her body. Instead, the silver gradually poisoned her system, turning her skin a bluish-gray color. Followers didn't see a woman becoming seriously ill. They believed her body was transforming as she absorbed the pain of humanity. By the spring of 2021, Amy was barely able to walk. She appeared frail, struggled to speak, and spent much of her time confined to bed. Even then, her followers insisted she was preparing to ascend into a higher dimension. In April 2021, Amy Carlson died inside her home in California. But the story didn't end there. Instead of notifying authorities, several followers carefully wrapped her body in a sleeping bag, decorated it with Christmas lights, covered parts of her and it with glitter and makeup, and transported her remains hundreds of miles to another house in Colorado. They believed she wasn't truly dead. They thought she was gathering energy and would soon return. For days, they lived alongside her body. When police finally entered the house after receiving a report, they discovered a scene unlike anything they had encountered before. Amy's mummified body had been arranged inside a bedroom shrine. Christmas lights surrounded her. Glitter covered parts of her face, and her followers sat nearby, convinced they were protecting the physical form of Mother God while waiting for her next stage of existence. Several adults were arrested, and a child who had been living in the home was placed into protective custody. News of the discovery quickly spread around the world. Photos from the investigation shocked the public. Documentaries later revealed just how deeply many of the followers had believed Amy's extraordinary claims. Even after her death, parts of the movement continued online. Some followers insisted Mother God was still guiding humanity from another dimension, while others eventually left the group and struggled to rebuild their lives after years of devotion. The Love Has Won story reminds us that cults don't always begin with obvious warning signs. They often begin with promises of belonging, healing, purpose, and hope. And for some people, those promises become so powerful that they stop questioning the person making them. And sometimes that blind faith leads to places no one could have imagined. Until next time, remember that every ordinary person has an extraordinary story. I'm Amber Joy, and I'll see you in the next story.